anybody have hot water today? I'm awake right now. I'm quite amazed. But I think around 11 o'clock I'm going to fall asleep. I have to be honest, like, you know, waking up before the sun goes up, it's just not right. I just hope there's a queue, because that was the whole point of the waking up. If we wake up and there's absolutely nothing at the checkpoint...
Then wait until there is a queue.
Yeah.
At some point there will be a queue.
Okay, so... Yalla. I love that word. Ah, what a beautiful Ramallah morning.
First light.
Don't even think it. Just try a few times. Sometimes in the morning it needs to. Okay, stop.
No,
yeah. All right, the car doesn't start. Shall we just go back to sleep? Do you know the way to the checkpoint? But next time we come up with a story idea, let's think of something at a different time of day.
Okay, now if the soldiers comes to you and all, they'll tell you you're not allowed to film here. You can tell them, yes, you are. You're not allowed.
The checkpoint so they can go.
Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed.
They can go to. Sorry, I didn't hear what Evgeny said. They can go to what? What was that word?
They can go for themselves.
All right, great. Okay, now we're clear.
Don't mind his French, though.
I'm really not worried about it.
The idea is just to film as much as we can before the guy sees us. And look at it. We were right. There is actually a queue.
15 minutes, you will have like a big traffic jam here.
I know.
All over.
I'm gonna cross the checkpoint. I used to cross the checkpoint every day. And it's hard for people who are poor, who don't have car to cross checkpoint. It takes hours sometimes, and especially if you wanna run to work or to the university, to school, to college. And now we're gonna do it again, and I'm gonna show you that checkpoints aren't about security at all. It's about who's controlling here, who's in control. We shall overcome. Every day it's the same. Traffic jams during the checkpoint, and people are suffering. You need to wake up very early in order to get to work. Let's say at 8, you need to be at work at 8 in Jerusalem, so you need to wake up at 4:30 and to come to the traffic jam and then to the queue, and you will be late to your work. And it's all because of this ghetto wall that they built. It's all because of the ghetto mentality. Zionism get out of the ghetto, but they didn't take the ghetto from their hearts. So this is why they built this wall. This is why they're putting Palestinians into a ghetto, in order to get out of a ghetto. So they're making others suffer.
Great, I'm really happy that we came here early, and I'm really happy that we managed to get people in a queue, vehicles in a queue. The guys are freezing though, so I kind of want us to hurry up a bit and just get the story finished. So we've got nice visuals. It was worth it.
Oh, yeah. Got
Right.
great visuals.
Okay, good. But there really are queues, hey? The idea is to show the long queues that people are standing in, so we need to get some visuals of that. So in that respect, we're pretty lucky. But it's actually not luck, because we really did know that this is the situation. It was just good that it was on the morning weekend that we can see the long queues. It's really sad. I mean, I'm all excited and happy because we have a story, but if I just stop for one moment and think about it, can you imagine having to wake up every morning before 5, 6 in the morning, that you can stand in a queue for 2 hours in cold weather every single day to go to work, and then they have to repeat the whole thing in the evening?
45 minutes, and we haven't started yet. not even the first checkpoint here. So there are several checkpoints, like several fences in each checkpoint. And now I'm losing my turn.
You know, the Israeli argument is that it's security, so it's a valid argument. The Palestinian argument, which is the story we're doing today, is what kind of security is it? And that's what we'll show in our story. We'll raise real questions about what these checkpoints do and what purpose they serve. But the part that I find the most distressing is that nothing's going to change. I mean, the situation's been like this for years. This scene plays out each and every morning. Thousands of Palestinians need to cross this checkpoint before 8 a.m. so they can go to work on the Israeli side. The Israelis just come across so badly. I mean, I'm just looking at the pictures of soldiers behind barbed wires. I mean, I really don't know what the IDF guy is going to say, the Israeli Defense Forces guy is going to say today that's going to justify this. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think we're okay, hey, for Vox Pops. I think I'm getting old because people talk to me now and I like find myself sometimes so moved that I almost like, I could feel myself like having some tears in the eyes. How was it inside? Yeah. What did they actually do?
Here you just stand and you wait till you get permission to cross, and then you need to. I took off my coat.
You must be freezing.
Yeah, and show her the ID. She's behind the glass. She doesn't speak or anything. She looks at the ID and keep looking at it and keep looking at it until she decides that, okay, you can leave.
Do you go through a metal detector?
Yeah, of course.
You see, if we'd come later, Daniel, if we'd come later, we would have missed all those pictures, hey? Good decision. If you'd listened to Ala and me, we would still be sleeping. All right, so now we've done the part of the story where Ala crossed through and we've got that whole element of how difficult it is. He came back and now we're still in Ramallah. We're going to cross through by driving and we're going to show just how that there's no queues and we just go straight through and there's no checkpoint checks or anything. And that will highlight the irony of the whole thing.
Hopefully they won't spot it.
What happens if they actually see the cameras? I mean, can they pull us over?
Look, I spoke to people from the army, from their spokesperson unit. They are aware of the fact that we're filming in the area and that we might be going through checkpoint. Filming through the exact checkpoint, I didn't want to tell them that that's exactly what we're doing, so I didn't. But I'm hoping that they're not gonna give us too much troubles. If we do, it's all about, oh, we're journalists, blah, 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 that's our work.
Let's see.
All right, okay.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. Rock and roll.
Oh, let's do it. We are driving out of Ramallah now. We're going to take the route where there is a checkpoint, but where every time we drive, they've never ever stopped us. So we just got to hope that they don't stop us today when we're actually filming this. And the point is to actually show that whereas Ala stands for hours to get through the checkpoint on foot, here he can just drive straight through and they don't check. And if checkpoints are for security, how do you make sense of this? The point of the story was like how you have people going through on foot and how people go through a car. This is true, what we're showing here. The fact that it's not the same checkpoint, I'm not going to say it's the same checkpoint. But it is true. They just drive through
we're saying we're just going to another checkpoint, which is 10 minutes away, less than 10 minutes away, and we will cross it. When you have a car, you can cross the checkpoint and just without being like standing for 2 hours in the checkpoint. We have been driving for less than 10 minutes, 7 minutes, and we will just cross the checkpoints and we'll enter Israel without being checked or humiliated and feeling like a lamb. You're just sitting in your car and you're crossing the checkpoint. So here's the checkpoint. We are very close. And we'll see now. And you see right now, I'm crossing the checkpoint, the soldier is laughing, and we crossed into Israel without being checked or anything. So what's checkpoints about? Is it about security? I don't think so. We just proved it, that it's not about security at all.
Okay, so that was it, guys. We're back in Israel.
I have always said that the conflict here is between poor and rich. A rich man who can buy a car can always come here to this checkpoint and cross it. We came from Ramallah, They don't know if we have Palestinians in the car who don't have permission to go inside Israel. They didn't check us. If you have a good car and you're driving, you're looking good, they will just laugh when you cross the checkpoint. But yeah, if you don't have money and you don't have a car, so you need to be humiliated in order to go away and to another day at work.
The one element that we're missing from the story on the checkpoints, of course, is the view from the Israeli side. So we have an interview with someone from the Israeli Defense Forces, and I want to ask him, what is the point of the checkpoints? So the first question will be something like, what is the point of checkpoints? The second question will be that when we went this morning, we saw people queuing for a long time in the checkpoints. But then what we did is we went through Hizma, and we just drove through and they didn't stop the car. Like, if you can just think of how you want to answer that, because what he's saying in the interview is that the checkpoints are to make me feel ashamed, and the checkpoints are to create divisions. So if you're a poor Palestinian, you have to wait in the queue, and if you're a wealthy Palestinian, you can get a car and you can drive through and it won't make any difference. I don't really go through questions beforehand, but I just the sense I had is that he looked a bit lost as to how he was going to answer, and just a feeling I have is that this guy has not been on camera before. I might be wrong, and I wanted to give him a sense. I won't ask exactly those questions because it's not fair to give some people questions and other people not questions. If you look at them right now, he's being briefed. I don't really like giving questions beforehand.
No, I know, we don't do that usually, but you know what? The fact that he's young and all that, I don't mind, I don't care about that. You know, they give 18-year-old guns, so why not give 23-year-old a camera? You know how hard it is for us to usually get sound bites directly from the Israeli army. If that's what keeps them satisfied, fine. Give them the questions. Make sure you don't follow the exact line.
I won't. I'll say like these are the questions, and this is kind of the focus.
More or less, this is the angle.
Why does the Israeli army have checkpoints? And I'm talking here specifically about checkpoints between the Palestinian areas and Israel.
תראי, לאורך השנים אנחנו ראינו אני אתחיל 10 שנים אחורה במבצע חומת מגן ובאינתיפאדה השנייה.
What proof do you have that the checkpoints work?
בלי צ'קפוינטים, בלי מעברים שיכולים לבדוק אותם, ועם זאת אני אומר שעדיין המעברים מוכיחים את עצמם, המספרים.
That checkpoints meant to prevent the terror attacks, and the numbers prove that it happened that since 2001 till today the numbers is less. And that IDF demolished some checkpoints in the West Bank in order to make it more easy on Palestinians to move between the cities.
Okay, I want to ask you a personal question. For you, when you're standing at the checkpoint, how do you feel when you see these people that don't have guns and don't have anything crossing through the checkpoint, forced in queues for long hours, and you're standing there with a gun controlling their lives? What do you feel? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. How many years have you been in the army?
5 years.
5 years? You look younger than being in the army for 5 years. I just can't help but think the guy's a kid. And then they put him up to be the IDF spokesperson. I mean, in all fairness, he did a good job of it at his age, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's a kid. Why would you as an army want to put forward a kid as your spokesperson? The IDF could have done itself a better service by giving us a stronger person who is more of a spokesperson rather than someone who's just so young. I wish that Israelis and Palestinians could see each other as people and not just as the representation of the Israeli army. And the same on the other side. I mean, today Allah was our case study. And Allah was right. He said he feels like a lamb. He feels so humiliated. We interviewed the one man who's been doing this for 27 years, I think he said, 25 or 27. Can you imagine every day for 25 or 7 years going through a checkpoint? So I try and bring that humanity into the stories. But in terms of the people who live the story, they don't see the humanity of each other. The soldiers don't see each person that goes to the checkpoint as a Palestinian father who needs to support his family, as a Palestinian mother who had to wake up extra early and make sure that her kids were ready to go to school and who can't see her children off to school because she's got to go through a checkpoint for 2 hours so she can get to her job on time. The soldiers don't see that. The soldiers see that they need to maintain the security, and each person that's coming through there is a potential threat to the security of Israel. So you see it as a mass, as an enemy, and you lose that one-on-one connection. And sometimes I really hope that that's what we can do through our journalism, is bring the humanity through of people. But it's really hard. You only have 2.5 minutes to do a TV story, and you have a very specific story you're trying to tell. That's where I think we as journalists have the privilege, is that we meet the people behind on both sides. So we see the humanity on both sides. But I just wish that people could meet each other not as an Israeli soldier and not as a Palestinian potential terrorist, and that they could see beyond those stereotypes and beyond those labels that they give each other and actually see each other as human beings.